Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. We hope you are well. Guys, we are going to have a look at Mohamed Salah, who is the latest entry into the Premier League 100 Club. I can't wait for his montage. You know, Sky Sports do the Premier League 100 Club, and it's like a 10-minute show. They show all the goals. I mean, think of the amazing names he's going to be with. Darren Bent, Peter Crouch. I mean, esteemed company. You can't get any better. Guys, before we jump in, a few things. First of all, I haven't actually said this to Scott off screen, but I'm sure he would join me in sending our commiserations to Elliot. Of course, last night we saw what happened with him. It wasn't a bad challenge. The Leeds player shouldn't get any stick at all. It's just one of those things. But, you know, from Sweet and Sour Soccer, if you ever watch this, we really do wish you a speedy recovery, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. It's horrible, isn't it? A young lad who's, 18. Got his whole career ahead of him, but he just broke through. I think he was the first teenager to start all 4 games for Liverpool. But yeah, wish him a speedy recovery and all the best. But yeah, let's talk about Mo Salah. Mo Salah running down the wing and now 100 goals to his name in the Premier League. I mean,
what we're going to do, we're going to do this video in 2 parts. We're going to look at Mo Salah as an individual and then look at the company that he's in now in regards to how fast it's taken him, or well, I say how quickly it's taken him to reach 100 Premier League goals. This is his 5th season. Bear that in mind, and with 4 games in. Scott, where does he rank for you in terms of Premier League right now? Obviously, we've got the big names that we'll come on to, but can you already say he's one of the greatest? Can you compare him to the top echelon of players in days gone by?
I think with Mo Salah, it's an odd one, isn't he? Because for me, he's criminally underrated with some fan bases. I think some still don't put him in that top tier, and I think you really have to now. I think it's got to the point where he's not just done it across 1-2 seasons. He's done it across, as you say, he's in the 5th season in the Premier League. He's just done it season after season after season. You know straight away. I mean, people always say he's the first name in your FPL. If you do your FPL fantasy league, he's the first name because you know he's just going to bank points after points after points. And
well, let me give you the.
You have to put him up there, don't you? You have to put him up there with the best now. I don't think there's any question of it. And I think those that maybe question it, I don't know if it's just because of his character. He keeps himself to himself. He doesn't want to be a superstar, does he?
He's not the Zlatans or the Ronaldos of this world, is he? Or the Balotellis, that kind of thing. He's not that kind of person. But whether you are outspoken off the pitch or underwhelmingly quiet like Salah is, that shouldn't take away from who you are on the pitch, in my opinion. Let me try and read off these stats for you because I've got them here. And his first season in the Premier League, 17-18, 36 games, 32 goals, and no one could believe it.
Sorry. We should quickly say his first season with Liverpool, shouldn't we? Because he did have that short stint with Chelsea where he obviously had 13 games of which he scored only 2 goals. So,
very different player though.
But
he's a very different player.
Liverpool.
Well, 36 games, 32 goals. You move on to 18-19, 38 games. So he's played every single game, which I think also deserves credit, whether you're a defender, midfielder, or even a striker nowadays. If you're playing every league game, you're doing something right. 22 goals. Next season, 34-19. Last season, it was 37-22. This season, 4-3. Is he hitting those 34, 33 goal seasons like he did when he first came? No. But, I mean, Alan Shearer, I think, only had 3 seasons of 30 goals plus. And, he played for 15, 16 years. So you can't judge him based on that. But it's the relentlessness. And a lot of them aren't penalties.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think you have to consider the fact that this is the Premier League. And look, if you're hitting 20 goals a season in the Premier League, you deserve all the credit in the world, don't you? I think it's one of those really where the fact that he ever hit 30, that is just incredible to me. That is just proves why he should be right at the top for me. I think because to even hit those numbers once is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean,
I'm going to give you a stat. This has got nothing to do with Salah or the video. Well, it has to do with Salah, but not really in terms of his goals. This is his 5th season. So 4 seasons and 4 games. How many yellow cards do you think Salah has in his whole Liverpool Premier League career?
I mean, it's hard for me because I think I actually looked into it, but isn't it 4?
3?
3, oh, I still believe it.
3 yellow cards in 4 seasons and a bit. And this is why he's playing 38 games a season. Or like his lowest season in terms of Premier League games was the season before last. And he played 34 still. He went 36, 38, 34, 37. His worst season, he missed 4 games. Was, he's just... I think that could have been the African Cup of Nations as well. So,
yeah, that's it. He does. He misses usually, depending how far they get, 2 or 4 games due to the African Cup of Nations.
It's just
relentless. Interesting thing is, obviously, everyone usually throws the those that are Salah doubters. They'll throw the term selfish around with him. But for me, he scored 100 goals. But in those times, he's also provided 40 assists. And okay, people go, he's a winger, but he's not a traditional winger, is he? Because we know how Firmino plays. Firmino plays as that false 9 to get Mane and Salah in behind. And look, there has been times where you think, oh, he should have squared that across to Mane. And I think, unfortunately, there was a few instances that all came in probably the same space of the same 5 games, which started to build up this false narrative for me. But do you know what?
It is a false narrative.
Of the best, you have to be selfish at times. So I don't know how you feel about that comment, but that's one thing that always pops up, and I think it's rubbish.
Like, name me a great player apart from Messi, because I believe Messi would have had an extra 50 goals if he didn't stop giving penalties away to like Sergio Busquets or Dani Alves to give them a goal. That's what Messi did. But name me another one. Zlatan, incredibly selfish, but he's one of the greatest. Cristiano Ronaldo, do you think Shearer was giving away penalties? That's the making of the man, as to say, that's why they did so well. It goes back to this season. They played Norwich and Salah scored twice, I think, and got an assist. That assist, he squared it to Firmino, who hasn't been on the best form of the last year or year and a half. He could have took a shot, but he saw Firmino in an open space. It was an open goal, and Firmino had a 5 or 6 yard tap in. So I think these fans that say, oh, he's just selfish, I think that's just a throwaway comment that someone made on Twitter a couple of years ago, and it's just somehow got traction, but it's nonsense. One thing I wanted to come on to, Scott, and I think it's time, is the kind of players that we're talking about when we are talking about Mo Salah in the Premier League. And I've got the stats here. So he became the 5th fastest player to reach 100 Premier League goals, which just shows it's not that easy. Alan Shearer in 121 games. That's disgusting. I don't think that'll ever get beaten. Harry Kane, 141. Aguero, 147. And for me, the greatest Premier League player ever, Thierry Henry, 160. Salah comes in at 162. So only a couple games behind. You've got to be able to compare Salah with those players. I know Aguero played for 10 years and Henry for 10 years, Shearer for forever. Harry Kane is now coming on to 7-8 years. Is he in the correct company? Should he be? He's about 20th on the list of all-time scorers, but he's not 20th in terms of quality, is he?
Well, let's point out the first thing, I think, from all that, is he's the first winger that you name in that list, isn't he?
Could you not class Henry?
I mean, Henry started, didn't he? He started out. He did start more out wide. Of course, he played times in the middle. I suppose it's hard, isn't it, with Henry? I suppose he's a bit like Salah in the fact that he wasn't a traditional winger. I mean, he started out properly on the wing.
And he's not a traditional striker, is he, either? He's that hybrid.
Yeah.
Henry was one of the first to do it, coming off the left like Salah does on the right. But you'd say Henry was more of a striker than Salah ever has been. Harry Kane, old school number 9. Shearer, old school number 9. And the same with Aguero. So is it fair to say that Salah should be mentioned in those names? Because some fans don't think he should be.
I think he's got to be at this point. I think, he does it year after year. We spoke about it already. He does it year after year. You know that if Liverpool are going to have a shot at the title each year, they need Mo Salah. They need Mo Salah performing. You know, obviously they've got the likes of Mane as well. But it's all about, you know, you need Mo Salah performing. And the interesting thing is only 14 of those 100 were penalties. I bet if you look at a few of the other ones, I bet they're going to be around the same, if not higher. So there's not that argument either. I really think it's got to the point where you've got to consider Mo Salah in that bracket. And still only 29, you still feel that maybe he might go slightly off the pace. But look at his starts of the season. He's not showing that at all at the moment.
He's obviously, it's well documented he's a Muslim. I don't think he drinks. He's obviously not smoking like other players in the Premier League do. He's got that Ronaldo mentality. He wants to break record. He wants to win trophies. And I think he still wants to go and maybe play in Spain or somewhere else. So, and, you know, he takes his top off in celebrations. He looks like a robot, like a Roman god, doesn't he? Like he's just got muscles upon muscles. I think he will play. Like the average player now is playing until they're 34, 35. I think he'll be that one that goes to 37, 38 at the top level. I really do. And I as a neutral, I don't really care for Liverpool, really. But as a neutral, I want to see Salah playing in this league for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think he's a joy to watch, and that's another thing. He is a joy to watch. And I think the other thing to say, you know, you can see as his career progresses that he'll probably end up as you're doing almost what Ronaldo has. You could see him ending up in that central number 9 position. I think to answer the question, I'm guessing you agree as well. I think you have to class him in that bracket. I mean, let's face it, you can't put him in the Darren Bent, Peter Crouch bracket. No offense to them.
Crouch? Are you digging out Crouchy? I can't believe this. No, I think you're absolutely right. I really do. Mo Salah will go down as a Premier League legend. And to say that after 4 seasons, I mean, put it in the comments. Name other play. Mo Salah was a Premier League legend after 3 seasons. Let's be completely honest. He really was. Now he's just solidifying himself. Guys, put it in the comments. Who else has had an impact coming from overseas like Salah? It'd be interesting.
The interesting one is obviously it took Henry quite a bit, didn't it, to settle in? But you could argue Henry kind of did it early in his career. You could argue that obviously Mo Salah gave it a go early in his career, didn't work out. But the same happened with De Bruyne, and you definitely consider De Bruyne as a great now. So why not Mo Salah too? Lukaku as well. I know he had to go from Chelsea to West Brom, Everton, Man U abroad, come back. So absolutely, I completely agree. Guys, let us know. Put it in the comments. Is Salah one of the greatest already? Should he be spoken about with Aguero and Henry and Alan Shearer? Maybe Zola, if you want to throw those kind of names in, Bergkamp. And also, let us know what other players have hit the ground running like Salah, and you could argue is a great after 2 and a bit seasons. It's quite incredible. Exactly. And where do you rank Salah as well? Does he belong up with those names? And guys, as usual, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and we shall see you on the next one.
Take care.